I just tried to do a whole video and it wasn't even on. Anyway, hi, my name is Dr. Chandra Smallwood. This is the Fear Fighter podcast. Today I'm talking about anxiety and natural hair. You may have seen this shirt in another video that I just did about my frustrations with life and stuff. Men and babies and stuff. But anyway, this episode is totally different. It's about natural hair. As you see, I have my hair in double-stranded twists, and I'm only doing this for a week until I get my hair braided on Tuesday because I'm protective styling with knotless box braids, which I love, which my hair loves, and which is super easy for me. And I'm protective styling for at least a year, and also because I'm pregnant and I have a toddler and I'm single and I have a dog and I have a job and I'm making these videos and stuff like that, and just like there's too much going on to where I can just spend a whole bunch of time on hair care. Because especially if you're a Black woman, you know that wash day is definitely an all-day event. You know, I just haven't had it the other day. Oh, I took out my braids, then I have to detangle, then I have to, then I always put on my mask, which is an Ayurvedic mask. Not sure how to pronounce that word. I'll have to look it up. Of aloe vera powder. Good day. I'm super excited because I did my book over. It's now called Silent Suicide. It's a story about anxiety, the struggles that I went through, definitions, medical definitions, treatment, food, exercise, all sorts of things. Check it out. Other than that, be blessed. Have a great day. Okay, so I made a mask of fenugreek organic powder, amla berry powder, and aloe vera organic powder, as well as Bringraj oil. I don't know how to say that. And olive oil and water. I left that on for like 3 hours. I didn't mean to. It's just I was working and I had to do things on my breaks and my lunch. Then I washed my hair. Then I put 10 minutes of a protein treatment. Then I washed that out. Then I put different deep conditioners in my hair. I like to mix them together. And I left that in for probably too long. And I think one of them had protein in it. Well, I know one of them had protein in it. So it did make my hair feel dry afterwards. But I'm going to condition again before I get my hair rebraided on Tuesday. And also do a trim. So then I put them in these 2-strand knots. It was out in like an afro, I guess. But I was like, no, I'm not going to sleep on this afro. It's too much work. Okay, so anyway, let's talk a little bit of history. So I may have said this, but I have 2 Black parents, and so I have black hair. It's 4 AB, some C, some 3C or something also. Like, it has a nice curl. But it's in the 4 category. Other than looking at the hair that are in those categories, I don't know how to define it. It's African hair, which is fine. Like, someone who was Caucasian, who had curly hair, would be like in the 1. Like, it's like the looser your curl is. Like, my daughter is maybe a 2, 3, because it's like looser curls. So my curls are tighter, S pattern, porosity. I don't really know that. I've, put the strand in the water, and I don't remember if it floated or sank, but I've kind of just in a way ignored that. I kind of go off of just how it feels at this point, or just knowing that type 4 hair or African American hair tends to be drier, so I have to put in moisture, and also needs protein because it tends to be finer, weaker. It needs to be babied. Like, it's more of a sensitive situation. I'm wearing this shirt. One of the girls I know from high school has a braiding company. It's called Push Braids. I bought this one year when I went to her birthday party, she was selling them and I bought some shorts, which I really like. But anyway, if you're in California, look her up. Push braids. And I'm wearing the shirt because it's super soft. And yeah, since we're talking about hair. So I want to say I never really learned how to do my hair at a young age. Like, my mom definitely put the creamy crack on my hair. It's like, as well as at one point, like a Jerry curl or S curl or whatever the hell it was. I know that there was some activator in it. And then there were years of creamy crack perms, for people who don't know who that is, what that is. And yeah, it was like, you put these chemicals in my hair, you don't tell me what to do with them. And, you know, I came out looking like a mushroom at times, or would just break off, you know, a lot. And yeah, I don't know. Oh, and then I realized when I shaved my head that the back of my hair is pretty straight. And I always thought before that was like heat damage or like damage, but it just grows in that way. And I realized when it was growing in and I had a mullet, I was like, this is just not cute. I have my hair cut short. I have this mullet with this straighter hair in the back. It is what it is. I don't think I have a picture of it, but I will have some pictures scrolling across the screen of how I looked when I cut my hair. So I always wanted to be blonde. I wish I could be blonde now, but most people, you know, if you're blonde, that's a real fight with your hair. Because bleaching takes away the color, also opens up the pores and makes it like susceptible to everything, like losing moisture, gaining moisture, dry, brittle. Like, that's a real situation of you're really babying your hair. So I did do that for a while a few years ago. It's 2020, maybe 5 years ago. Man, time just flies by. And I did it for a while with the hairdresser that I met that was big into color. And I met her through a friend, and I really liked her. But I should have known that she was gonna mess up my hair because her life was kind of all over the place. Like, sometimes there would be large chunks of time. Oh, I forgot to tell my friend happy birthday. Dang it. Anyway, I'll hit her up in a minute. There were large chunks of time that like she wouldn't do my hair or whatever like that, and then her whole life would be changed. Like, she had like 5 kids and she was in her 60s, I think, and she was just the most free spirit, beautiful person, beautiful woman, great energy. But it was like she was dating this man, and then she was a lesbian, and then she like moved away to like Long Beach, and her daughter still lived in the valley, or no, lived in LA or something, like in the apartment but by herself, and she was like 13 or something like that. I should have known. So anyway, with bleaching and dyeing and stuff like that, like, she overprocessed it, overtreated it. It started like here, started falling out a lot, and that was really hard to fix. Man, it took a while for that to grow back. And yeah, I went from blonde, like platinum, to gray-ish pink. The color was pretty, but it was a rough process. And I did have my hair shaved, so it was mostly just the top. So I thought the top would be fine. No, it wasn't fine. It was rough. It was rough, and I ended up cutting it all off. And then I had her lift the color, because even though it was cut all off, I didn't feel super comfortable and confident with no hair. But now I look back at the pictures, I was like, that was so cute. And yeah, I'll have added some pictures. You can see it. But then she lifted that color, And it was just like this whole process, like, what the hell, right? Like, I swear, like, going to the hairdresser is one of the worst parts of having black hair, because there's not a lot of good hairdressers. A lot of times lazy people go to hair school to be hairdressers just because maybe they started doing hair at a young age. But then just suck. I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone has been to the hairdresser and felt like they, cut off 5 inches of their hair as a trim. Or you left the hairdresser. I remember once I went to this hairdresser who gave me the best press, but then put all these ponytails in my, oh my God, it was the weirdest thing. I don't know what the heck she was doing. I just had to take out all the rubber bands. But a lot of times I feel like you go to their salon and then you go home and you have to redo your hair. So it was like, what's the point? What's the point? So now I do my trims and everything like that. And I pay more attention to how my hair feels, the stuff that I'm taking into my body, the amount of water that I'm drinking. I love water though. I don't know people who don't drink water. So much. Like, my mental health, just how I'm living life, because it affects your nails and your hair, right? Because those are parts of your skin and they need to be taken care of from the inside out. So just for people who don't know, your hair is dead. Just in case you thought it was a living part of your body, it's not. It's dead, it's cells, it's growing out of your head, as dead can be. And, but it does have, it starts out obviously alive, and you have, it's full of protein, you have a cuticle, there's layers to it. I'm not going to go into a whole science lesson because I think a lot of Black women are very educated on their hair because you have to be, basically. But when it comes to anxiety, it's just, we know society is not super forgiving when it comes to you just wearing your hair out. Even your friends, and you see people and they have these weaves and these wigs, which are beautiful, and like, you just think, dang, I can look like this. I can just have this long flowing straight hair, easy to do, look super pretty, and not worry about my hair underneath, which is what a lot of people do. And due to that, traction alopecia has skyrocketed for African Americans, which is very difficult to see because they feel like they can't live their life without having fake hair. And sometimes, and fake hair is not a bad thing. Like for me, I started using it as protective styling. So you wouldn't manipulate your hair every day, because manipulating your hair every day makes it break off, just like anything else. If you manipulate something, if you wear the same shirt every day and you wash it every day, it just breaks down. And everything does. You overuse it, it doesn't last. Same thing with your hair. And now we've gotten to the point of having to institute laws, that women can wear their hair natural, like in the workplace or at school. And we've had instances of people wanting African American women to cut their hair for sports, or because they wanted them to fit in with a certain narrative. And it's a lot. It's a lot to think about. It's a lot in so many different ways. So, how do we overcome this anxiety? Because one, you have to be okay with the shrinkage. And shrinkage is very anxiety promoting. Because it's like, you know, I have these cute twists and everything like that. But it's like, well, I can't, you can never show your true length, which is fine because the health of your hair is based on it curling back up anyway. Because if you lose your curls, you know that there's damage. Something's wrong, you need to cut that off. So we really have to embrace all of it, which is somewhere I have come to the part of life where I have embraced the natural hair. But I'll have to say, wearing my hair natural makes me feel super low maintenance, or super like, sometimes makes me feel like, do I care like about my appearance because, you know, I'm not swooping my sides, or I'm not spending hours, you know, adding hair to my head, or I'm not buying 6,000, 7,000, thousands of dollars of weaves or wigs and, you know, putting them on my head and everything like that. Hair care, black hair care is a very expensive industry. We spend lots of money on it. We are big consumers of products. I'm a product junkie. A lot of us are product junkies because I think a lot of us are product junkies because the products suck. Most of them have so many freaking chemicals in them. Like, you feel like you have to open up a huge book of chemicals to know what you're putting in your hair. You have to keep so many things in mind, and then a lot of them are continuing to be bought out by white companies. And we already know what that looks like. You know, you want to think that a white company will care. Do they? Probably not. I don't know, maybe they have a group of black scientists who are working specifically on black hair care, and, you know, they have grants and funding and they're doing all these great things, but probably not. That's super optimistic. So what do? We experiment with things that we think will work for us, or are black-owned companies, which a lot of them are really good. Like, I've been using Briogeo. There's so many different ones I can't even think about their names right now. But I definitely try to stay with organic, black-owned brands if possible. Also, you know, there's definitely a learning curve, an acceptance curve maybe, of getting to where you want to wear your hair natural versus being versatile. Because black women are versatile, right? We're beautiful. We like to look different. You know, I have a blonde wig. I have short curly wigs. I have a short straight wig. I have hair clip-ins, like different things that, you know, you want to play with. But then people are judging you like, oh, what does your regular hair look like? And are you gonna straighten it? And, you know, all sorts of things. I've had friends who have lost their edges because of wanting to look cute in wigs, and then feeling like I can only look cute in wigs because, you know, I have traction alopecia now, and now like I feel bound to them, and I can't let that hair grow back the right way because I feel uncomfortable. And traction alopecia does not take long. I definitely had a hairstyle once where when I took it out, I felt like, whoa, way too much hair came out. And I felt very self-conscious of my edges. Now, I mean, hairlines are not perfect, right? Because, like, this is not missing hair. It's just how it is. Like, even when I was younger, like, this part of my hair was always like this. Like, ever since I was a little girl. So, I mean, I don't know. My mom put all that cream and crack in my hair. Who knows what happened? But I definitely stopped doing that. And it just grows how it grows. And that's fine, you know. And I think men realize that stuff more because they get edge ups, and women, we don't really get, well, we don't get edge ups for the most part. So we never have like that perfect hairline. Our hairline is always like whatever. And I think that's why we start swooping with the baby hairs with gel and stuff like that. I don't know. I've never gotten good with swooping baby hairs, mostly because I don't really care that much. And should I care that much? I don't know. There are so many beautiful actresses and rappers. I mean, the female rapper right now, it's amazing, beautiful. There's so many of them right now, and I love it. I love it. They're so beautiful and so strong. I just, you know, want them to continue to teach women to be women and not use their vagina for anything but power. But I digress. Okay. Back to it. I feel like some ways to get over having anxiety with natural hair. The first way people don't really like, when it comes to anxiety, you have to do what makes you anxious. That's really the only way to get rid of it. One of the only ways. Other than that, have coping mechanisms, you know. For us and for hair and for things that are physical, like we have affirmations. And I know people don't believe in affirmations, but to be your own cheerleader is amazing. Like, it really is. Like, to look in the mirror and say, I am beautiful. I love my hair. I love my curls. I love myself. I have a great life. I'm abundant. I am this. I am that. Like, all the positive things. Being there for us. Being there for yourself is amazing. And that helps you to go out into the world and be accepting of who you are and of what you look like. And, you know, everything, the ways you feel about life and everything else. Like, none of us are perfect. And people will always find something to talk about if you let them. And let them talk, it's fine. Nobody's perfect. And everyone thinks that they're a teacher, they can tell you what to do, that they're better, more educated, more all sorts of things. But, you know, we are not our hair. Hair is like an ornament. Like, women will say, it's my crown glory. It's this, it's that. Like, it's like having a whole bunch of hair is like having a better life, or you're better. You know, you're better as in, and not better in comparison to other people, but better as in you're a better you because you have more hair on your head. But people are born with thinner hair and with less density in their hair. And the fact that they feel like they are not their full selves or can't be their full selves because they don't have as many strands as someone else is crazy. It's so crazy because there's so many other attributes of our life and of our character and of who we are and what we have to offer the world that the hair is not really that serious. You know, it's cute, it looks nice, but honestly, you know, if you wear a wig every so often, you throw in some extra hair, or you don't want to shave your hair, or you do shave it, or you straighten it, or you bleach it, or whatever you decide to do with it, as long as what you want to do, then that's all that matters. I was listening to live on Instagram last night, and they were talking about women using filters. And, you know, and the men, it was like basically men versus women in a way, which is, you know, how it is, and, you know, why we have a hard time, I feel like, getting along these days anyway, because it's always men versus women, men versus women. But the women were like, everything that we do is not for a man. And the men are like, why don't you guys give filters a break? Because we want to see you more natural, and we want you to have like filter free Friday, you know, or whatever else. And I mean, I agree with both sides, because filters are fun and everything like that. But sometimes my friends will use, especially like Snapchat filters. Snapchat filters, I mean, it's one thing to use a filter on like Instagram or your phone. You know, it adds some color, it adds a little bit of softness. But Snapchat, it softens your whole life. Like, you have no imperfections, no wrinkles, no blotches, no color changes on your face. Like, everything, it's like you had this quick Botox session, like to the max Botox. So yeah, if someone puts up Snapchat filters, you know, on every post of Instagram or something like that, nah. That's not something I agree with or even want to see. I'm like, girl, you don't even look like this. But I digress again. But anyway, you know, it takes time. Loving yourself takes time, years. It takes a lot of work. I will never stop saying that mental health doesn't take work, because it does. Just like physical fitness, just like anything in life, like everything that has ever existed, or technology, everything that has gone anywhere has taken work. People have had to learn it, they've had to master it, acquire it, work for it, buy it. It's all work, right? It's all getting up in the morning, doing what you need to do, being productive, setting goals, and doing all of that. If you need to set hair goals or a mindset hair goal, then do it, you know? But it's something that we really do have to be intentional about, especially if you find yourself feeling like you're not okay to live life without extra hair. Even if you feel like that, you know, I don't know. I don't want to say that that's the wrong way to feel. I just want to say I hope that we can all feel like we accept the beauty that we are. And it's okay to enhance it with some extra pieces of hair. It's fine. You know, I don't want to judge anyone. I think so many women look so beautiful. You know, you see these hairdressers, there are definitely amazing hairdressers that do great work, and you look at their like Instagram page, you're just like, whoa, like that weave that you did for, you know, $35,000 on this woman is amazing. You know, so however you find yourself beautiful is great. But just take some time to think about your natural hair, and just still love it for growing out of your scalp. You know, the women, because there are women that lose their hair. There are women who have alopecia areata, I think is how you pronounce it. Like, where their hair is falling out like in the middle of their head, and it's not traction alopecia. It's not the sides or the front. It's in the middle, and it's you know, genetic or environmental or what it is. And those women find strength you know, by other places. And yeah, they may cover it up with some wigs or some other hair pieces and look gorgeous. But it's also very important to accept it. We need to accept everything about ourselves at some point in life. You know, can you imagine living 100 years? Hopefully you live 100 years and not accepting a part of yourself? Like, can you imagine being on your deathbed and you never accepted the hair that grew out of your head? Like, how I had to finish up from yesterday because I had a text message about work, and then it was like, oh, I gotta go. Like I was saying at the end, I took out my twists. I need to wash and cut my hair today. I didn't know what to do with it, so it was out, but then it was looking crazy, so I don't know. I just had to pull it back until I wash it a little bit. I know it looks kind of crazy, but it is what it is right now. So yeah, can you imagine being on your deathbed, not accepting something like your hair? Or going deeper, your attitude, you don't accept the person that you are, you don't accept the things that you believe, you just don't accept something that makes you you. So let's work on it. I mean, it takes time. I mean, I feel like some people don't accept things for decades, maybe their whole life. And that's okay, but don't be in denial of it, you know. Know that it's something that you need to fall in love with one day. Because, I mean, regardless of what we have or who we are, what we look like, we should fall in love with ourselves, you know? No one else is going to if we don't. So, this is Dr. Chandra Smallwood. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please subscribe. Please ring the bell. And I guess that tells you when the podcast is on. Yeah, please comment below. Please send messages. I really want to talk to anyone who, has any thoughts about any of this. Let me know. Have a great day.